On a Friday in November, a courier arrived at Sophia's front door with a thick FedEx envelope. She signed the electronic pad, her hand steady, despite the weight of the sender's name, her mother's law firm. The return address was the same one she'd dreaded for months. This had to be the lawsuit. Inside her home, she tore it open and pulled out a thick, tabbed document.
It's too thick for a complaint. 12 pages.
The cover sheet was a letterhead, but the word at the top wasn't complaint. It was resignation.
Resignation? From her lawyer? Addressed to me?
Sophia's eyes scanned the first page. The letter was from Patrick, her mother's attorney of 14 months. He had resigned that morning, returned all fees, and sent this copy directly to Sophia.
This isn't a lawsuit. It's a warning or a weapon. Patrick's letter. He's writing about Dad's will, the heirlooms. This is about the lawsuit.
The dispute had started with Edward's death. His will left every heirloom to Sophia. Cynthia was enraged. She demanded the items back, called Sophia a thief, and threatened to sue for their return.
A silver tea set and Grandma's pearls. That's what she'd destroy me over.
Sophia had gone no contact 2 years ago. Her attorney, Mark, assured her the estate was solid.
But I never thought her lawyer would resign like this. What's in this letter?
Patrick described a year of unethical demands. Cynthia wanted him to twist the law.
If he's spelling it out, then her whole case is built on lies.
She grabbed her phone and called Mark. This letter could dismantle Cynthia's entire lawsuit.
Mark, it's Sophia. I am sending you something. A letter from my mother's attorney. He resigned and sent me a copy. Meet me.
After the call, Sophia returned to the letter. Patrick's account was damning. For 14 months, Cynthia had pressured him to construct a case on arguments he knew were unsupportable. He had repeatedly counseled mediation. She refused. Her goal was to break Sophia, not settle. His notes recorded every demand. Fabricate emotional distress. Exaggerate value of heirlooms.
She wanted him to fabricate evidence. That's not just aggressive, that's illegal.
In the most recent meeting, Cynthia produced a sworn affidavit she had drafted herself. The affidavit contained multiple statements. Patrick believed Cynthia knew were untrue. He wrote, "I could not in good conscience file a document I knew to be untrue. I refused."
She threatened to report him to the state bar for incompetence. That's when he resigned. She crossed every ethical line and even her own lawyer walked away. This letter changes everything.
The final pages laid out Patrick's decision. He had resigned, returned all fees, and was now notifying Sophia under ethics disclosure rules.
He's telling me this is my right, to know that my mother's case is built on perjury.
His professional recommendation was clear. Ask Mark to demand full disclosure of any future filing.
This man risked his career to warn me. I owe him a debt I can't repay.
Sophia set down the letter. Her hands were steady now, her mind sharp. She picked up her phone again.
Mark, I'm sending the letter now. Read it tonight. I need to see you first thing tomorrow.
Mark's reply was immediate. "I'll clear my morning. Send it over. This could change the entire posture of the case."
By tomorrow morning, Mark will see what I see. Then we decide how to use it.
She forwarded the scanned document and sat back. Outside, the city hummed, indifferent to the bomb that had just landed in her lap.
12 pages. One letter, and it might be the only thing that saves me.
The next morning, Sophia walked into Mark's office and placed the resignation letter on his desk.
You weren't exaggerating. This is a career-ending confession from her own attorney.
Can we use it to stop her before she files anything?
We can do better. We demand she produce any future claim with full disclosure and warn her of sanctions for any false statements. If she lies again after being warned, a judge will view it as intentional misconduct. This letter proves she already tried.
He's turning her own weapon into a legal booby trap.
They drafted the demand letter on the spot. Mark dictated while Sophia typed, her fingers steady. The demand cited Patrick's letter directly, giving Cynthia 72 hours to produce any claims or face immediate sanctions.
Signed, sealed, and going out certified mail. She'll have no choice but to respond.
Now we wait. Either she backs down, or she doubles down and destroys herself.
Cynthia tore open the certified envelope and found Mark's demand letter inside.
They've weaponized Patrick's resignation. They know about the false affidavit.
Her home felt suddenly smaller. She had gambled that Patrick would stay silent.
I need a new lawyer. Someone who hasn't seen that letter.
She dialed the first firm on her list, a senior partner she had consulted before.
I need representation for a family property dispute. It's straightforward.
The partner asked pointed questions about the prior attorney, then said he would review and call back.
He suspects something. They'll all check the case history.
By evening, she had called 6 firms. Each requested the file. Each promised to call back. No one said yes.
No one is saying yes. That resignation letter is a cancer on my case.
The following week, Cynthia found herself in the wood-paneled office of a respected litigator, determined to present her case anew.
My daughter took everything after my husband's death. I am only asking for a few sentimental items.
She painted Sophia as ungrateful, carefully omitting the forged affidavit and the resignation entirely. But the attorney requested the full case history from her previous counsel before committing. That evening, he reviewed the file. The resignation letter was unmistakable, its allegations detailed and damning.
He's been quiet since he came back. He's not looking at me.
The attorney declined the representation, citing ethical obligations and a conflict of interest.
He actually used the word ethical. Patrick's letter has branded me untouchable.
Outside the office, Cynthia stood on the sidewalk, her briefcase feeling heavier than it had when she arrived.
2 firms now, 2 refusals. Will anyone take this case?
Desperate, Cynthia turned to a towering corporate firm. No personal referrals, no history, just pure legal firepower.
New firm, clean slate. I'll focus on the estate, not the past.
In the glass-walled conference room, she presented the heirlooms dispute, her voice steady, details sanitized. But the firm's intake process was thorough. A routine conflict check flagged the prior attorney's resignation and the demand letter.
They pulled Patrick's letter. They're reading it right now.
The senior partner returned, file in hand, his expression unreadable. He didn't sit down. "This case is a non-starter," he said. "With a resignation letter alleging ethical misconduct, we can't risk our reputation."
A non-starter. 3 firms, 3 refusals. That letter has poisoned everything.
Cynthia stood on the sidewalk, outside the high-rise, the rejection echoing. No attorney would touch her case.
Tay, there's no one left to call. The lawsuit is dead before it began.
3 days later, Mark called with the news Sophia had been waiting for. Cynthia never filed. Her 72 hours had expired.
She gave up. After all those threats, she had nothing left.
The heirlooms her father had left her. The silver tea set. The pearls were secure, but the cost was permanent.
We can close the file officially, but keep that resignation letter safe. It's your shield if she ever resurfaces.
A shield. More like a grenade that blew up her own plans.
She placed the 12-page letter in a locked drawer, next to her father's will, a testament to a stranger's conscience.
Patrick risked everything to do the right thing, and I won because of it. But victory tastes like ash.
Outside, the city hummed with indifference. Inside, Sophia sat alone, holding the ghost of a family that no longer existed.
She was my mother, and I have to live with knowing what she tried to do.
She dried her eyes, stood up, and went back to work. The letter remained in the drawer, a permanent reminder of the cost of integrity. Weeks turned into a month. The deadline for Cynthia to file approached and passed without a single submission.
The statute of limitations has run out. She can never sue me over this again.
Mark sent a final email, confirming the file was officially closed. The threat was extinguished.
It's really over, not just stalled, finished forever.
On a cold Saturday morning, Sophia drove to the cemetery and knelt at Edward's grave. She whispered what she couldn't say to anyone else, that she'd won, but it felt like a funeral for what family meant.
Dad would have wanted me to fight, but he'd hate what it cost.
Meanwhile, Cynthia retreated further into her home, her calls unanswered, her social circle shrinking to silence.
I may never speak to her again, and that's a wound I'll carry forever.
But as she walked away from the grave, the weight on her chest felt a fraction lighter. The law had protected her, and so had a stranger's courage. After the cemetery, Sophia threw herself into her consultancy with a ferocity she hadn't felt in years. New clients signed contracts, and her reputation as a sharp, ethical strategist grew.
I am finally standing on my own. The lawsuit was just a storm that passed.
On quiet evenings, she would open the locked drawer where the 12-page letter lay, untouched but never forgotten. She didn't need to read it anymore. The words were etched in her memory, but she traced the signature. Patrick.
He lost 6 weeks of sleep over whether to send this, and I can't even say thank you.
The heirlooms sat on her shelf. The silver tea set, the pearls, symbols of a war she never wanted.
I could look him up, but would that be crossing a line?
So she didn't. She closed the drawer, letting the question hang, but the curiosity didn't fade. It settled into a quiet resolve. One day, she would find out what happened to Patrick. While Sophia rebuilt her life, Patrick sat alone in his office, the resignation letter still open on his screen.
They could have disbarred me. Instead, my partners backed me.
The firm reviewed his actions and found no ethical violation. They stood by his decision.
But I lost 6 weeks of sleep, wondering if I destroyed a client to save a stranger.
The state bar opened no investigation, but in his own mind, the trial never ended.
Every filing I make, I hear Cynthia's voice demanding I bend the rules.
Colleagues noticed a shift. He was more deliberate, more cautious, but also more respected. He continued to practice, taking on fewer cases but pouring himself into each one.
Some nights, I still wonder if she ever read the letter, if she understood what it cost.
But he never regretted the letter. Only the silence that followed. Months after the lawsuit died, a plain envelope arrived in Sophia's mailbox. No return address, but she knew the handwriting. Inside, a single sheet of paper. Cynthia's final words, not legal, but personal.
She blames me for everything, the lawsuit, the rejection, her isolation.
Cynthia wrote, "You took my husband's love, his heirlooms, and now my reputation. I hope you can live with yourself."
No remorse, only fury that she was caught.
Sophia read it twice, then placed it on the desk. The silence in the room was heavier than any argument.
I could respond. I could tell her exactly why every lawyer refused, but to what end?
She opened the drawer where Patrick's letter lay and placed Cynthia's letter beside it. A parent and a stranger, side by side.
Patrick warned me. My mother tried to wound me. That tells me everything.
She never replied. The door between them didn't close that day. It was already locked. She simply stopped rattling the handle. In the months that followed, Sophia began volunteering as a mentor for young professionals, quietly weaving her own hard-won lessons into every session.
Integrity isn't a policy handbook. It's the choice you make when no one is watching.
She never mentioned Patrick's letter, but its shadow was in every example she gave, every caution against shortcuts and lies.
They think I am teaching strategy, but I am teaching survival, the kind I barely managed myself.
Invitations to speak at business ethics panels arrived. She accepted them all, turning her personal ordeal into a professional calling.
The hardest decisions aren't between right and wrong. They're between wrong and worse, and ethics is what guides you when both options cost you something.
Her consultancy flourished. New clients praised her sharp mind and unshakable principles. The same principles her mother had tried to destroy.
Dad would be proud. Not of the lawsuits won, but of the lines I refused to cross.
She had built a life that Cynthia's bitterness could not touch. But in quiet moments, the silence of an unanswered question lingered.
There's still one thing I haven't done. One person I haven't thanked, and I think it's time.
2 years after the lawsuit, at a downtown mixer, Sophia found a glossy brochure for the Bar Association's annual ethics seminar. The keynote speaker's name hit her like a physical blow. Patrick.
It's him. It has to be.
Her hands trembled as she read the date, the time, the registration details.
I could finally thank him face to face. Or I could walk away and never know what he'd think.
She pulled out her phone, opened the registration page, and typed her name. Moments later, the confirmation email arrived. She was committed.
2 years of wondering, 12 pages of courage, and now a single yes.
She saved the seminar to her calendar with a shaky finger.
I am going to meet him. After everything, I might finally get to say thank you.
The morning of the seminar, Sophia arrived at the Bar Association building 40 minutes early. She slipped into the back row and watched as Patrick adjusted the microphone, looking older but steady.
He's real. The man who wrote that letter is standing right there.
Good morning. Today we're going to talk about the cost of doing the right thing.
He spoke about sleepless nights and impossible choices, never naming names.
Every word feels like it's meant for me. He's describing my mother's case.
The hardest part isn't losing a client. It's never knowing if you saved the right one.
When the session ended, Sophia's heart was pounding. Then the moderator announced a coffee break. People began to move toward the coffee urns. Patrick stepped off the stage, alone for a moment.
This is it. After 2 years, I can finally say thank you.
Sophia took a breath and walked toward him, weaving through the crowd of lawyers balancing coffee cups and pastries.
Patrick, my name is Sophia. 2 years ago, you sent me a 12-page resignation letter.
You are Cynthia's daughter. I wasn't sure you'd ever read it. I wondered every night.
I read every word. That letter likely saved my career and my sanity.
I lost 6 weeks of sleep after sending it. I questioned if I'd betrayed everything or done the right thing.
For a moment, neither spoke. The noise of the room faded, leaving only the weight of what they shared.
You did the right thing. The only thing. Thank you.
That means more than you can imagine. After all this time, thank you for saying so.
They exchanged business cards, a quiet understanding passing between them. The letter that had undone a lawsuit had finally built a bridge. Months later, an embossed invitation arrived for Sophia, the Bar Association's annual Ethics Awards dinner. The guest of honor was Patrick.
He's being recognized for ethics. Of course he is.
She RSVP'd immediately, requesting a seat near the front. The night of the dinner, Sophia entered the grand ballroom, her heart full but steady. After dinner, the presenter took the stage. Patrick's name was called, and the room erupted in applause.
Ethics isn't a rule book. It's the quiet decision you make when the right thing costs you something.
Sophia watched from her seat, her eyes shining. She clapped until her palms hurt.
The man who saved me is being honored for the very thing that almost broke him.
The audience gave a standing ovation. No one in the room knew the full story except Sophia. The 12-page letter had traveled from a locked drawer to this ballroom, and finally, the circle was complete. As the crowd dispersed, Patrick spotted Sophia near the back and made his way over.
You came. After all this time. It means more than this award.
I wouldn't have missed it. I wanted to see the man behind the letter honored.
She glanced at the crystal award in his hand, an emblem of integrity.
If you hadn't shown up that day, I might still be wondering if that letter even mattered.
It mattered more than you'll ever know. It set my life on a different path.
A comfortable silence settled between them, the noise of the room a distant hum.
Let's not lose touch this time. No more wonder.
Agreed. I'd like that.
They shook hands, but the gesture felt like something warmer. The closing of a circle. Sophia left the ballroom and walked into the cool night, the program with Patrick's name tucked under her arm.
12 pages. 2 years ago, a stranger's conscience became my shield.
She thought of the letter itself, now locked in a safety deposit box, a relic of a war she'd never have to fight again.
It feels lighter now. Not because I forgot, but because it finally did its work.
She unlocked her car and slid into the driver's seat, placing the program on the passenger side. The engine hummed, and she sat still for a moment, letting the quiet victory settle.
Justice came not from a courtroom, but from 12 pages of courage.
She pulled out into the city traffic, the program beside her.
I used to think that letter saved my career, but it saved me.
And with that, she drove home, carrying the lesson forward. The city lights streaked past the windshield as Sophia drove, the program for the evening resting on the passenger seat.
If Dad could see this. Not the award, but the man who stood up to Mom.
The heirlooms, the tea set, the pearls. They were safe, but more importantly, they were hers without guilt.
I spent 2 years afraid of her next move. Now, I am just free.
She turned onto her street, the familiar glow of her porch light, welcoming her home.
Every light in this house is on, and I am not afraid to open the door anymore.
She parked and sat for a moment, the engine ticking as it cooled.
Patrick said he lost sleep. Tonight, I think I'll actually rest.
She gathered the program and her purse, stepping out into the quiet night. Some battles aren't fought in courtrooms. Some are won with 12 pages and a conscience. Sophia unlocked her front door and stepped inside, the familiar scent of home welcoming her. She walked to her home office and placed the awards program on the desk, right next to her father's photograph. The heirlooms sat on the shelf behind the desk, silent, immovable, finally hers.
Everything you wanted for me, Dad. Safe. Whole.
She traced the edge of the program where Patrick's name was printed.
A stranger became my ally, and I never even asked.
The camera holds on the desk scene. The program, the photograph, the heirlooms, a quiet testament. One resignation letter, 12 pages long, had undone a lawsuit, exposed a lie, and built a bridge between two people who believed that doing right mattered more than winning. Outside, the city continued its soft hum, but inside, there was only peace, and Sophia, for the first time in years, was ready for whatever came next.